are continuing a conversation with Jonathan Emord that I think will hopefully not only raise even greater concerns about the condition of our nation at the moment, but I believe give some hope about its future course. You have been covering, among other things, Ron DeSantis's efforts to counter the biggest corporation in his state, a very important part of his state's economy in Florida and a powerhouse in his constituency, needless to say. Um, Ron DeSantis, governor of the state of Florida, has taken on Disney directly over its efforts to interfere really with the legislative process, the lawmaking in his state on transgender related educational issues. Talk us through why he's completely within his rights to have taken them on and what this tells us about the kind of state of the cultural Marxist efforts in America and doing something about it.
So, Florida passed a law that would prohibit sexual orientation and sexual identity educational curricula in K through third grade. And in response to this, the Disney Corporation went ballistic and they created this whole movement, political campaign against the bill, and really misleadingly called it the Don't Say Gay law.
Mhm.
The bill passed, and then the issue became one that was exacerbated by the fact that Disney announced it was going to fundamentally change all of its parks and all of its programming to include this new woke reality that children have fluid genders, they can be whatever they want, and that transsexual children are cool and so forth. And while
Starting at a very young
yeah.
age.
And while adults may choose to mutilate their bodies in any way they wish, when it comes to children, they're creating programming and an intent to destroy the innocence of children, to sexualize them. It would be improper to sexualize them in a heterosexual way or any other way. Sexualizing children is child abuse, and that is what they became dedicated to. Well, in response to that alteration of the environment at Disney, and the reality that the governor has that he is really it's instrumental as his enforcement role to protect children in the state of Florida and to protect the children coming into the state of Florida to visit, to go to Disneyland or Disney World, excuse me. So when it comes to that, they did something extraordinary. The legislature, they revoked the special privilege that has been given to Disney in the Reedy Creek Improvement District, which is a bizarre thing where a private government or private company gets to be treated as a local government, essentially as a county government. And they
And this was done for Walt Disney, I think, as an inducement to come to Florida in the first instance decades ago, was it not?
Precisely, and it was done at that time to create a hospitable family environment that would be clean and that would be free of these very sorts of perverted influences.
Mhm.
And uh,
Which Walt Disney was all about,
he was all
was he
about
not?
that. So
Yeah.
not only has the Disney Corporation repudiated its trust with the American people, has completely eliminated the basis of their business, really, but they've also repudiated Disney himself.
Mhm.
And what DeSantis has done by revoking the special privilege is nothing more than say, okay, we're not going to condone or be a party to creating a quasi governmental entity and allowing you to have that status if you're going to abuse children. And
Right.
in response, they've said, oh, you're attacking our First Amendment rights. Well, no, there's no specific content based restriction imposed on Disney whatsoever. Disney can continue this foul program of denying children innocence. It's just that the state of Florida will no longer be a co sponsor of that by
Right.
allowing them to have a special privilege.
In effect, an enabler in a way,
Enabler.
if that original arrangement persisted. This is not the only thing that Ron DeSantis is doing. it seems, at the uh, in response, I should say, to this sort of cultural or other kinds of Marxist agenda. Critical race theory being another manifestation of it, which he has found in large numbers of textbooks that were otherwise going to be made use of in public schools in the state of Florida. Talk a little bit about this aspect of the governor's efforts. And again, is he within his rights to be doing it? And is it, in fact, something that should be emulated by other political figures elsewhere across the country as well?
I very much agree that it should be emulated everywhere in the country. And what he's done is simply prevented racism from
Mm.
being taught in the public schools. The public schools, based on BLM critical race theory curricula and the New York Times 1619 project curricula, uh, have been trying to inform children of color that no matter how hard they try in life, no matter what they do, they are hopelessly going to fail because the society is, they say, systemically racist. Government is systemically racist. Business is systemically racist. No matter where you turn, you cannot succeed. That's the message that they're teaching children.
Right.
And when it comes to white children, they're teaching them that no matter what they do, based on the superficial color of their skin, they are white supremacists, and they
Mm.
will always be white supremacists, and that they cannot escape that occurrence. So, this nonsense, which is racism, which violates the 14th Amendment to the Constitution because it's a government entity, a school that's violating the Equal Protection Clause, was the norm or was becoming the norm in Florida, and Governor DeSantis destroyed that. He has
Yes.
vigorously
Praise God.
rooted it out of government, and that's schools, and that's exactly what he should do, and the
Yeah.
rest of the nation as well.
Amen. We have to leave it at that. Jonathan Emord, thank you for your leadership in all these areas, your scholarship that underpins your work, the important book that has come out of it, The Authoritarians. We commend it to all of our listeners and hope that you'll come back to us soon with more to discuss about all of this. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Securing America. Come back for more tomorrow. Until then, this is Frank Gaffney. Go forth and multiply.